Okay, we've been digging through the book of Ezra the last few days, and we're in chapter 5 right now. And you gotta understand, as the book of Ezra kind of takes place after the 70 years of captivity in Babylon, and Darius the king lets them go, and they're back and they're building the temple, but the local people are giving them a hard time. They're picking on them. They're making fun of them. They're trying to stop them. It sounds kind of familiar as believers, as we're trying to go to church, we're trying to go to synagogues, we're trying to do the godly thing, and the government and the people around us are trying to stop us. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because God uses all things, but I found it interesting in Ezra chapter 5, verse 5, and it says, "But the eyes of their God, our God, was on the leaders of the Judeans, so they didn't stop until the matter could come before Darius, and reply in writing be received." In other words, they were trying to get these guys to stop, but they were just going to keep going with the matter, keep doing what they were doing by building the temple, until they got a writing or received information from the king Darius. And as believers, that should be the same thing we should be about. We should be doing what the Lord's called us to do, and not wait for the government or some governing person to stop us. The problem is we get caught up in silly things. What we need to understand is the Lord, no matter what's going on, good or bad, the Lord sees it all. He hears it all. He knows everything that's going on. Here's a little warning for us as believers. Instead of picking and looking at other people and pointing out what they're doing wrong, let's pay attention to what we're doing, because we've probably got sin in our own lives that needs to be corrected. That's a little bit of a side note. Proverbs 15:3 says this: "The eyes of the Lord are everywhere, watching evil and the good." In other words, the Lord isn't slack. He isn't lacking. He knows what's going on. The problem with us is we get caught up in the trappings of the world. We have protests that turn into riots. We have politics that turn into foolishness. We have bad decisions here, bad decisions there. We have diseases and all kinds of various things going on in the world today, even including with a little bit of from Lebanon, Hezbollah attacking Israel. We have turmoil. But the Lord Jesus told us that we would have troubled times. We would have trouble in the days, in the last days especially. So what we need to see is that the Lord has his hand upon us, and the Lord is watching out for us. I like Psalm 118, verses 23 and 24. It says, "This is the Lord's doing, and it's marvelous in our eyes." God is doing great things. We as believers need to be looking to the Lord and looking to see what he's doing. There is church, there's people getting saved left and right if we just look. There's people that need to hear the truth of salvation if we just listen and look for that, instead of looking for the garbage and the problems of the world. Lastly, just don't be distracted by the crazy things going on in the world around us. Look to the Lord, man. Realize he's got it all covered. That includes you and I. He knows our situation. Our job is to glorify him and tell people about the good news of salvation. Have a blessed day.